POV. One mistake means death, not failure, not embarrassment, death, because you're about to walk into the throne room uninvited, and in this kingdom, that's a crime punishable by execution. The king hasn't called for you in 30 days. You have no appointment, no invitation, no guarantee of mercy, only one chance. A few years ago, nobody knew your name. You were an orphan, raised by your cousin Mordecai, living quietly among your people, trying to survive, trying to stay unnoticed. But everything changed when the king began searching for a new queen. Thousands of young women were brought to the palace, including you. Imagine being taken from everything familiar, your home, your family, your normal life. Suddenly you're living inside a royal palace, surrounded by luxury, surrounded by power, surrounded by danger. For months, preparations continue. One woman after another is presented to the king. Then your turn arrives, and somehow, out of everyone in the empire, the king chooses you. You become Queen Esther. At first, life seems perfect. A crown on your head, servants at your command, comfort beyond anything you imagined. But beneath the surface, something darker is happening. A powerful official named Haman is rising through the kingdom, and he demands something that belongs only to God: worship, honor, submission. Everyone bows when he passes. Everyone except one man: Mordecai. Haman is furious. At first, he wants revenge against Mordecai. Then his anger grows. If one Jew refuses to bow, why not destroy them all? Soon, a decree is written, a date is chosen, and an entire people group is sentenced to death. Men, women, children, everyone, including you, even though nobody knows you're Jewish. When Mordecai hears the news, he is devastated. The decree spreads throughout the empire. Fear spreads with it. People weep openly in the streets. Many begin preparing for death. Then Mordecai sends you a message that changes everything. He reminds you who you are. Not just a queen, not just an orphan, not just a survivor. A woman placed in this exact position for this exact moment. Then come the words that echo through history. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Imagine reading that. Because deep down, you know he's right. The problem is simple. Approaching the king uninvited could get you killed. No exceptions. The law applies to everyone, even the queen. If the king does not extend his golden scepter, your life ends immediately. No trial, no appeal, no second chance. Now imagine the pressure. Stay silent, and your people die. Speak up, and you might die too. Every option feels terrifying. Every outcome feels uncertain. For 3 days, you fast, you pray, you seek God's guidance. Then finally, you make your decision. I will go to the king. The words leave your mouth. Then you add one final sentence, a sentence that reveals your courage. If I perish, I perish. Think about that. You don't know how the story ends. You don't know if God will rescue you. You don't know what the king will do. You simply choose obedience. The day arrives. Your heart pounds as you approach the throne room. Each step feels heavier than the last. Guards line the walls. Officials watch silently. The king sits on his throne, the most powerful man in the empire. You step into view. Everything becomes still. For a moment, nobody moves. Nobody speaks. Every person in the room knows the law. Everyone understands what's happening. Your future hangs on a single decision. Then the king rises and extends the golden scepter. Relief floods through your body. You are alive. But the mission isn't finished. Now you must expose Haman's plot. Carefully, wisely, patiently. One wrong word could still ruin everything. So you prepare a banquet, then another, building trust, waiting for the right moment. Finally, the time comes. The king asks what you desire. This is your opportunity, the moment you've been waiting for. You reveal the truth. You reveal your identity. And you reveal Haman's evil plan. The room falls silent. The king is stunned. The queen he loves is one of the people marked for destruction. Suddenly, everything changes. Haman's scheme collapses. His power disappears. The decree is overturned, and the people who expected death receive deliverance instead. The story that should have ended in tragedy ends in victory. Not because Esther was fearless, but because she chose courage despite her fear. Esther's story isn't really about becoming queen. It's about purpose. It's about discovering that God may place you somewhere difficult because someone needs you there. It's about realizing that your position isn't just for your benefit. Sometimes it's for the benefit of others. One of the most powerful verses in Esther's story is, "Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" Esther 4:14, NKJV. Because Esther teaches us something important. You don't have to be fearless to be courageous. You only have to be willing to take the next step. So here's the question. What opportunity has God placed in front of you that you're afraid to pursue? And what if you were put there for such a time as this? If you enjoyed this Bible POV story, subscribe for more journeys through Scripture and prepare for your next assignment, recruit.